good day to you. Ahead of Fnatic versus Team BDS, we're taking a look at the Adam incident last week, where their level 1 plan against Heretics went a little bit haywire. It backfired just a bit in the early game, but I love it, and you know, maybe it's something we see in the future, so I want to refresh your mind. All of this is made possible because of Adam's Scion and what he can do setting up the early game. Now, you'll notice that right off the bat, there is an early ward that spots out Jankos on the top side of the jungle, and that's going to be the information that BDS need to go ahead and go through with this late invade right around the 130 mark into the bot side jungle. Now, if the enemy jungler had started on bot side, they could have gone through with this anyways and just looked to find a 2v1, go for an early pick, but Adam, with the great AoE from his Q, is able to set up very nicely and speedrun Sheo over towards level 3 off these first 3 camps. Now, to make this dive possible in the bot lane, it's really important that BDS have the push in bot. And because they're playing Xayah into the Aphelios, that's something they can get relatively easily with the feathers. Crownie and Labrov also position very aggressively to make sure they can hit these waves first and get that crash moving on forward. Now, at this point, all BDS effectively need is to burn this TP from the Gragas, right? There's a big wave crashing on the top side of the map that, in theory, Adam should be able to TP back to. And if this TP doesn't come in, they would have just gone through with the dive. But the second that is gone through, everything goes wrong. Oh no, Adam said after the game they'd practiced this before and he'd literally never been hooked in this situation. He'd always gotten back to the top wave, and this was a new experience for him that ended up going a little bit against the grain. Now, luckily for Adam, he ended up just running down this Thresh. It was very silly. Mersa, of course, misses the flay. This probably shouldn't happen, and he ends up getting the kill, and it's all good there. But one idea I would actually like to bring to this dive, if any Scion enthusiasts, double jungle enthusiasts want to try this one out themselves, is I think there could have been an option for the Scion to go ahead and actually lose himself to passive early on. If he had gone away from red buff, I wish this could go a little bit faster, but you know, it is what it is. If Scion had left red buff a little bit earlier, tanked Krugs, and died, if they could have perfectly timed the wave crash in bot lane, he could have used his passive to tank the tower, and possibly when he dies, doesn't actually give over the first blood, he would have already been dead. Just an idea, just a thought, but regardless, I love the innovation out of Team BDS, and they're going to be playing Fnatic in just a second. So let's talk about Fnatic.
I think Fnatic is hoping that he doesn't show up to the lane at all with the way things have been going on their side. And, well, excuse the joke, but let's talk a little bit more seriously about Fnatic. It's interesting because Adam, of course, was on Fnatic before. Now he's found other pastures over at BDS and is doing quite well. On the other hand, we've got the rookie in Oscarinin, who's had a really rough time on Fnatic overall, but for people who missed Ready Check Treatz, it's not something you can look at in an isolated perspective when it comes to how this roster has been doing and how they haven't been able to win.
Yeah, I mean, it just feels like nothing has been working for them. They've tried to play multiple different comps, multiple different styles to different lanes, and kind of just nothing has clicked, right? So I think what they're looking to bring to this week is kind of a clear perspective of what they want to do and where they want to play around, and just make it very clear and go back to the basics, because they kind of need to be honest, to get a win on the board.
True. Just getting copy in a second, because obviously you can see that they're not in the studio, and I have some context in just a second. It's due to ongoing illness on Fnatic, so the game will be played remotely from the team's facilities. We, of course, wish them a speedy recovery, and on that side, BDS is then also playing from their facilities, I believe. Right? Production? Yes.
I believe so,
Sorry.
yes.
Yes. In any case, when it comes to Fnatic, it's always such a difficult situation to look at because of the championship winning team that they've been for so long. But when you look at it, that was 5 years ago. That's crazy. And obviously, you would think you have a lot of head start when you are in this position because the players want to play for you. You've got the sponsors' attraction and all of that. So it's really incredible that they found themselves in this position. How do you even start to go against the grain?
Well, the thing is, it's been a long time since they've lifted the trophy, but they have remained very competitive throughout the years as well, reaching towards the top spots as well without taking it home. So this is a real breakaway for them, where they finished in 9th place, didn't qualify to the BO3's last split, again starting off 0-3. Really, really tough look with 2 big roster changes coming through from them. But I think that for Fnatic, like, there is so much mounting pressure because of the history, because of 2 young players coming into this roster as well at the last second without a lot of time to work with the team, that now you find yourself in a situation just like last split, where you're down 0-3 very early on, and you're just struggling to find wins to make it to top 8.
Yeah, and the playoff and the regular season brackets obviously don't help, with the regular season being 9 games. If they don't make it, it's like they don't have a lot of chances to prove themselves, right? And being 0-3 start just makes it so much worse. Now they're obviously also sick and playing from home, so there's going to be a lot of extra factors there too. So it feels like everything is just going against them.
It's a disaster for them, especially because if we look at last split, right, it was 3 wins was the break-off, and that can change split to split, but 3 wins was enough to guarantee top 8 in winter split, right? Fnatic have 3 games left, and they already lost to the worst team in winter,
6
right?
games.
What did I say?
3.
6. They played 3 games. They have 6 games left. It's not that bad. But because they've already lost to Excel, who was 10th place last split, now you are sort of forced to find some like big surprise wins, right? So like BDS was a team middle of the pack, maybe stretching for Fnatic, but a win here would do so much to put them back in the race. But they have a lot of hard matchups still remaining, is what I'm trying to say, because they've already lost to Excel.
Oh, absolutely. And I think it's crazy and really cool that we're talking about BDS in this way, because this is also something we wouldn't have thought in the past. The fact that they would be, you know, we're thinking they're going to comfortably get to the next round, to the group stage. Of course they are, Treatz. And I think for that roster, that is very impressive to start us off.
Yeah, and also if you make playoffs, then obviously get more practice in the winter split as well. So it kind of just snowballs, right? BDS, they got some extra games, more than Fnatic. Now they're matching up again, and Fnatic are kind of down bad right now. So I think for BDS side, they really need to make it work as well. And they're looking for a better record than last split, obviously, as well.
They are, but for Fnatic, it's been 49 days since their last win. Will this be it?
Oof, 49 days since Fnatic have won a game. I'm going to just dig the blade a little more. Upset has more wins this year than Fnatic as an organization. And this is a difficult situation to be in. Now, quick update, due to the ongoing illnesses at the Fnatic house, the game will be played remotely from the team's facilities. We are wishing the Fnatic members a speedy recovery. We hope to see them back on the LEC stage soon. That means, of course, BDS will be playing from their own facilities too. We'll have the Teddy Bears on stage. And Caedrel, I want to see something different from Fnatic. I want to see an approach to this game. I want to see a proactiveness that I haven't seen over the last week, and I don't know what the answer is going to be.
Yeah, I was watching their Legends in Action thing they do behind the scenes, and apparently no scrims was going well, practice was going pretty decent, things just weren't translating to stage, and they looked really hesitant, and they were frustrated after the games.
Well, we'll find out.
So we need to see confidence.
Maybe
Fnatic.
playing from home can help. Maybe a little bit of comfort might work out. So Fnatic vs BDS are about to hit the draft. So if scrims are going well, if you can glean some information from that, what do you want to see from picks and bans here? I think for Fnatic as a whole, I might argue there's not necessarily just a draft issue or a draft challenge. I think the players have not necessarily been on the same page. I think close game against XL, but the next 2, they just got run over Sunday and Monday last week.
They need a power lane. They need something that they can really play through. I feel like Fnatic have lost their direction and it's come down to mid-jungle a bit too much. So they need something on a side lane that they can start to index on. And I feel like with Oscar coming in, it was supposed to be top, but that kind of fell apart after 2 days and then they put him on Scion duty. So we'll see what kind of champion he opts into this time around.
Let's find out from the draft. So Aurelion Sol removed from the pool, Annie as well as that. Varus taken out. The Zyrakan is something that we've been talking about over the 2 previous games. Sejuani will be the next to fall. So when I look through the picks, Sejuani and Vi are the 2 junglers that Razork has run. Ash will also... Oh, I actually forgot about Ash. We didn't see Ash at all in the first 2 games.
As well.
It was a big flavor of last week. BDS, the last ban, will be the Gnar here. So, Fnatic, what direction to go? Xayah or Rakan is what we've seen for the 2 previous games.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of Rakan. We've seen a lot of bot lane focus on the first pick. Gragas is another one that could be a big first pick in terms of having a flex champion to go for. We'll see what Fnatic opt into. They need something to play through, something that they can really... That's it right there.
Whoa,
Caitlyn.
whoa,
Caitlyn for Fnatic.
Okay.
Caitlyn for Rekkles.
Okay, give me a second here. Okay, so Rekkles has 400, 600, over 700 games.
Yep.
And only 15 of those have ever been Caitlyn.
When was the last time we played Caitlyn?
Give me a second. I'm going to look it up while you talk me through the rest of the draft.
So BDS can respond here with something like the Vi, I think would work really well. Sejuani's down. Elise wouldn't really work into a Caitlyn. They need something that they can actually get kill pressure on, play some kind of melee support bot. Yeah, Vi is good. I think melee support on 3 because they're going to go Caitlyn Lux for sure.
Well, the last time that Caitlyn was played by Rekkles was in the Summer 2020 finals. Remember how well that went? It didn't go well, in fact. So Rekkles going back to a pick he hasn't played
Jinx.
in a couple of years' time, and we will see that Vi tonight. So with Sejuani banned and Vi picked away from Razork, it'll be the first time we're seeing him on a different jungler this spring. Lux is currently being hobbled, and this is the duo that definitely came into spring anticipating and sort of expecting a lot, but we haven't seen the best Caitlyn performances from really anybody not named Upsets.
Yep, Caitlyn Lux is a hard one to pull off. It's really strong, but if you fall behind once against a mini support, it's as good as over. So I want to see some kind of hook champ from BDS on 3 here. Normally you go Nautilus into this, but they're playing a Jinx lane, so it's a little bit awkward. Lee Sin would be great into the Vi in terms of strong junglers that are up and available. Wukong would work as well. Any kind of AD melee jungler they can get in there would be good. And now it's on BDS. So they go Jayce here just to get the arcane comp. I really hope not, because they're going to get sacked on their support champs.
I would really love to see that. Of course, with the fact that bottom lane is already secured, you would anticipate some sort of support pick.
Yep.
That Lee Sin for Razork, by the way, is his most played competitive champ.
Oh, yes, Blitz do it.
62% ever, and locked in for Labrov. Okay, let me just check Labrov's Blitzcrank stats here. So
Blitzcrank into Caitlyn Lux. Wow, he's really made bot lane a very volatile place to be. I mean, Caitlyn Lux wants to push, obviously. Blitzcrank will hold his hook under tower to stop them from being able to pressure, and they're going to have their jungler down there constantly. BDS for the kill, Fnatic for the cover. It's on Fnatic, it's on Rekkles and Advienne. Can they out-movement Labrov and out-smart him in these trades to make sure that they can dodge this hook and chunk them out?
This is going to be Labrov's first Blitzcrank game on the LEC stage, or in this environment, playing from office. The two previous games.
The LEC League.
The LEC League, thank you. You saved me there. The last 2 games he did play was in the Prime League, so has a little bit of experience, but also coming up against a Rekkles Caitlyn, which is not something I traditionally associate with him in that bottom lane. And now the solo laners, we need to look and see what direction they go. I mean, Humanoid has been a little bit of an anchor, been a little quiet this spring, and Oscarinin has been bullied. I mean, he's the top laner that has attracted jungle attention, the second most of all top laners. So not only is he struggling in his debut games here at this tier of competition, he's being focused by his opponents.
It doesn't surprise me, because when one lane is vulnerable and losing, it just becomes something that you can double down on and actually pressure and gank and set up for dive. So it doesn't surprise me there's jungle proximity from enemy junglers goes up when he's losing the lanes. So now BDS, they have Vi, Talia's banned. Something like Ahri would work really well. Syndra would work really well. Anything that has any kind of mid-game kill threat. And Fnatic, they need something that can roam around. They need something... They've gone for Azir, actually. Jinx Azir with a Blitzcrank Vi. BDS comp, we'll see how it plays out. They've got a lot of late game, but not a lot of follow-up. I feel like if Fnatic just picks a roaming mid here, they should be able to control the bot side of the map really, really easily. Could also go for something like a Kali, but wouldn't work really well into the Vi with a Lee Sin. They need something that can set up the Lee Sin, push in the Azir, and move to it. Yeah, Ryze is perfect. Syndra would work as well.
Exactly the type of pick you were hoping for. Mentioned the phase 2 picks with that Sion, the LeBlanc, the Talia, the Olaf banned away. So Oscarinin, what is he going to run here in the top lane? As that Ryze is now secure for Humanoid, has the ability to help out. I think I love this combination already. If Rekkles and Advienne can start to push, if they can avoid those rocket grabs early on,
Jayce.
try to step forward into the members of BDS, then have that roam, have that potential dive from the Lee Sin or the flank opportunity from Ryze. What do you make of this? Stealing away the arcane comp, denying it from their opponents, and it's actually locked
the arcane comp. Okay, so Oscar's gone for the Jayce. They haven't actually gone for a tank top weak side here so that they can focus on bot side. He's gone blind to the Jayce. Adam could go something like Malphite here if he wants to. Any kind of tank top that does well into the Jayce. I'm not sure if he wants to go for something like a carry. It would be very risky. Renekton would work as well, but I feel like BDS's comp is kind of all over the place if they go for something along those lines. Wukong is the Armut special counter to Jayce from years ago, and he's going to go for it. So we've got a Wukong top, we've got a Blitzcrank support into Fnatic, so Fnatic's comp really powerful picks. They just need to pull it off. Jayce, Caitlyn need to win their lanes and then make sure that they're ahead moving into the mid.
Importantly here for Oscarinin, Jayce is his 3rd most played champion, and out of his top sort of 8 or 9, it's actually his highest win rate, 66.7% of the 18 games. He's won 12 of them. The thing is, a lot of those games were not at this level, and also not into the pressure of a Wukong Vi that you can anticipate may want to spend some time. So when we zoom out and look at these comps, I see early game punch, I see pressure on the laning phase. Is it as simple as win lane?
Yeah, Fnatic have to win lane on both sides, and Humanoid has to juggle both sides with Razork, whereas BDS just want to threaten kills at level 6 on the top side, shut down that Jayce. Wukong Vi getting on top of the Jayce and pushing him behind is going to put Oscarinin in a really bad spot, and then Labrov just has a lot of threat if they can hover 3v3 bot side. It's on Humanoid. He needs to unlock these side lanes. They need to push. They need to get ahead. Very tough comp for Fnatic to pull off. Very different to their week 1 Band-Aid on day 3, where they just picked team fight scaling front to back. Now they've gone for win lane.
Win lane, individual plays. So you know what? Okay, instead of trying to like group up as a, just let 1 or 2 players pop off, let Humanoid find this, or let Lux and Caitlyn take over the game. We'll find out whether they can as they're taking on BDS in just a moment. So I definitely had one of the lowest energy intros there to the Rift, so I apologize for that one. But I'm a bit confused about these drafts and how they're going to play out.
Fnatic's, they're scared of Blitzcrank, so I think they're grouping up, hoping that they can look for their own play. But Labrov is top. I think he's trying to look for Oscar in the top rush and then maybe have Adam collapse. He's off. He's going for a walk. Maybe he puts a ward down. I think that's what he's doing. He's putting a ward down in the middle brush to make Adam's life easier on the level 1 into the range champ, then swapping to Sweeper to threaten any kind of gank. Yeah. So he's going to swap Sweeper now, and then that'll make it so any kind of gank bot side becomes a little bit easier, and he can also sweep out the lane wards from the Caitlyn Lux if they want to poke him. So good thing there from Labrov. Helps Adam save his wards so he can look out for those ganks.
And I'm also very intrigued to see how the gameplay plays out in this bottom lane. You talked about Brav and Crownie, the rocket grab threat, but then you combine that with the snap traps, or the flame chompers rather, that can come down from Jinx. Rekkles and Advienne, they want to be pushing. The Caitlyn Lux lane wants to be in your face, but that exposes you. If underneath the tower, Jinx and Blitz can find the rocket grab, can find that knock-up from the Power Fist, then all of a sudden you can concede a lot. So dancing on the edge of safety is where Rekkles and Advienne are going to want to be.
Need to be careful. Need to be careful. Need a lot of vision, so they know where Sheo is. Sheo's going to go Raptors to red by the looks of it. They put a ward on his blue as well, so they can see where he has started, and to no surprise, it's on the top side. But Razork's doing a very common thing here. What he'll do is he'll finish red, he'll go to Crux, and then he'll walk into Sheo's bot side and try to fight him with Advienne next to him. And so he should. Needs to make sure that he can match jungle, make sure that they can use this pushing lane. Are they dead? No way they're dead. There's no way they're dead. Oh my god, you can't.
First blood to Crownie, are you kidding?
This is like...
And,
What?
How did that get set up? I can only assume rocket grab landed.
They cannot afford to play Caitlyn Lux into Blitzcrank and die level 1. That's just made Razork's plan fall apart. It's made the game fall... What happened? What did Advienne do? Did he just walk up and get hooked?
No.
He's walking past the wave, tanking the wave.
Bruh, even I know that's not cool.
Oh
and
no. Big mistake from Advienne, and then Crownie can just swap. He even flash to make it even worse. Crownie, the wave's in actually a fine state to the point where Crownie can just base, come back with boots, and he's fine. So now this lane's just falling apart. Oscar might have a solo kill here. Go on.
Oscarinin looking for it. Oof. That is such a turnaround for Oscarinin.
Yeah, it is. I thought he was going to flash for the kill there. Massive turnaround. That's the pressure point they need. This is how the side lane should be going. And Razork's now abandoned his plan of invading bot side, and he's moved up towards his top side, threatening Sheo's Krugs. They don't have a ward here. Oscar could get caught off guard. If Sheo lands the Q, he's going to die.
No. Just after Oscarinin almost picks up the kill.
Oh, it's so unlucky.
He gets jumped on. And Razork is now forced to run for his life. Another kill to BDS.
It's so unlucky, isn't it? Razork is right there, but he doesn't know Sheo's backtracked. It doesn't make sense for Sheo to be there, right? He just did his top camps. They know he's moving bot. Why is Sheo all of a sudden in top tribush? So can't really fault Oscar for that one. Razork has to ward jump out. Didn't have the red buff, it looked like.
I would like to take a brief moment to talk a little bit about Oscarinin. I mentioned it already. Everybody can see that this player is struggling, right? And everyone can see that as an individual, he is being focused, right? Second most amount of time from any enemy jungler in that top lane. I do want to just put into perspective, because the last time that a player had 18 deaths during the first week of the regular season above was back in 2014. So Oscarinin has had a really tough start to the Spring Split. I think going on to a champion like Jayce, seeing how that early 1v1 played out was a good sign, but it gets so much harder now because he has been put behind and cannot afford to make those mistakes again.
Yeah, I don't want to fault him for that death either. Sheo being there was just... Oh no, Advienne. They can just look for a hook onto him here, but the problem is Crownie's bot, and I think they know that. Fnatic have this mid-jungle early pressure from mid into bot, so they can actually move first. But Advienne's level 2. The Lux ideally should be staying in the lane and pushing in the Blitzcrank, not roaming around, matching the Blitzcrank. So I think the game plan, like the Caitlyn's being zoned off waves, this is exactly like the Zeri game that Rekkles was playing when they were playing the Zeri Ashe lane. They were playing Zeri Ashe into Xayah Rakan, they lost the lane level 3, and then they were being threatened on dives, being zoned away. This is not how the game should be played with these champions. They need to start pushing.
So Caedrel, do you like what BDS is doing? Because we're 4 minutes in, it's felt like a lot of movement already. You know, Sheo actually surprising top. We've seen Labrov roaming a couple times, but it is generating them that advantage. I think some punishments of Fnatic plays, but is this a good thing for BDS in their comp?
Yeah, really good. Really good. They just want to scrap around Drakes, get to level 6 and start forcing with Wukong Vi, but I mean, they're being given and spoon-fed kills before that, so they'll happily take it. Labrov can start moving around the map. If they can get Humanoid's flash with the Azir level 6, and the Ryze can never really push. So Oscar has flash, Sheo's here. No flash. Is Adam? No, he's on
stop
close
for
to
the
6.
wards. Oscarinin a little late to be spotted here. will use that
He has to predict
acceleration
the flash.
gate. Needs to predict it. Flash will land. Denting blows below 100.
Yeah.
The tower will keep him alive, but summon a spell blown.
Good predict, but yeah, not enough damage. Adam not level 6, doesn't have the flash to gap close. But they get his flash. Oscar's wave's not in a great state, but he has TP, so he should be able to arrive back to this pretty easily. Razork's on the top side of the map too. But the problem is, my eyes are on bot. I just feel like Crownie and Labrov are the ones pushing in. Look at the vision on bot side. They have 2 pinks. Fnatic can never really step up past the wave. This is not the
I'm looking top,
situation you want.
Caedrel. I'm very sorry. That's only because there's 5
Yeah,
members
Humanoid's moving
grouping.
up. Could be a dive, yeah.
Razork's
There's
coming
Realm
up.
Orb.
Realm Orb's bringing him 2, so 3 versus 2 for now. Adam's only level 5, no flash. A very big minion wave. This dive has to go well. Sheo's charging up the Q. Adam goes forward to the crushing blow. Defensive flash from Humanoid. Fnatic are on the board. They get themselves a kill. There's Oscar that picks it up. Sheo will now be backed up by Nuke. I think he teleported to the mid lane, if I saw that correctly.
Do you know what that is, Trevor? That's
me.
Oscar's first kill of the LEC.
Yes! Well done, Oscar! Berlin! Put your hands together and send some love. Good shout out there, Caedrel. And also a significant CS advantage.
Yeah, finally, a game where he's now ahead and he can start taking over the map. Level 6 now on this Jayce, building towards his mythic item. He'll be really strong. But the problem is, Adam, when he hits level 6 and Sheo when he hits level 6, he needs to be really careful. No flash. He needs to play reserved. As much as he's got a lead, he needs to hold that lead. BDS constantly pushing in bot. Labrov can start moving around. Humanoid lost his flash, so Labrov will be eyeing up that mid lane.
And Caedrel, I'm going to be very happy for Fnatic. What you wanted to see from the draft, I think you had some strong words. This is on Humanoid. You want to see Humanoid playing the side lanes, getting involved. He popped that Realm Warp within a minute or so on hitting level 6.
Really good.
Executed well with Fnatic, so they get the kill and they get out alive. And that was all, well, so much focus was on the bottom lane. So pulling a little bit of a surprise there, managing to get Fnatic back in the game.
The issue Fnatic have now is Vi will take to 6. And I've just mentioned Oscar being in trouble with the level 6, but it's also Humanoid. So Fnatic are in the situation where both solo lanes can't push, they want to push, and bot lane's losing. So BDS can start starting up these neutral objectives. Sheo, the rocket as well. Is it enough damage?
That's so much damage!
Oh, the level up!
Needs to use his level 6, the slide, the glide!
Oh, clean.
Nuke won't be able to get in range for the Empress Divide, but the flash keeps Razork alive.
Really clean from Razork. As much as trouble as he was in, he manages to react fast enough with the kick, but now it could be Humanoid that's in trouble. No flash. Nuke, does he have the E? Does he have the shuffle?
Is it available? Waiting for it. Looking at Labrov, just waiting in the wings. Flash available to him as well.
Oh, the root. He was just about to press E there, Nuke.
So
You could tell
good.
by his positioning. Now you can see the pings from Humanoid pinging up towards this Herald. 10 seconds on the spawn. No vision bot side. Looks like he might want to start that one up. Razork's moving up as well.
And you still see this consistent approach from BDS. They are being very fluid. I think Labrov in particular has spent a lot of time moving around the rifts, trying to look for those opportunities. Sheo catching out Oscarinin in the top lane, almost catching out Razork in his own jungle. But unfortunately, because all the moves, as soon as they back, this allows Fnatic to pick up the Rift Herald. So they're down just a small amount of gold. With the Rift Herald and the Boop, they can set up a plate gank. They can either look to accelerate Oscarinin even further or try to give a little bit of help to Humanoid, so tools available to them. But look, BDS again, they're committing, looking for those picks.
Labrov has Moby Boots, so he's going to be absolutely everywhere on the map. He knows that the Jinx is going to get the push into the Caitlyn Lux, and it's not really salvageable at this point. I think they lose 3v3 a bit too hard, giving up the Dragon as well. They've basically given up the entire bot side of the map now, Fnatic. They've just changed the entire game plan to make sure that Oscar can get ahead, and he can be the carry. They can look for a top dive here. Humanoid's moving up, Realm Orb's ready in a couple seconds, so no TP on Nuke either. Sheo's bots, can they execute this dive cleanly is the question. If they can get a 1-for-0 on a clean kill, they might be able to threaten a full tower.
It is going to be at the concession of this Dragon, though. Looking to jump on the top lane. Sonic Wave into the Resonating Strike. Adam will throw out the Cyclone. So at least that's a cooldown blown. I think more importantly, 30 CS lead, 1,200 gold in the advantage. Plates to be secured. And Razork is holding on to the Herald for now. I think he can drop it. Maybe will in just a moment, but the bottom lane tower is being dumpstered here by Crownie.
It's not great to Herald, but he has to. Otherwise, they're going to lose first tower. I think he's just trying to force down first tower blood here because otherwise the Jinx gets a massive injection of gold. And they will pull it off. Can they threaten 2 towers is the question. Looks like Nuke and Sheo are coming out of base, so they won't be able to force it. But that's the first tower over to Fnatic. BDS should be able to respond with bots.
Well, Oscarinin, nearly 2,000 gold up. A tale of 2 Oscars from Razzies in week 1. So Oscar potential here in game 1 of week 2. But with it comes now expectation, right? The gold lead, the tower secured, the fact that they've lost bottom lane pretty dramatically. Eclipse has already picked up 956. So that means that there is expectation Oscarinin has to use those shock blasts, has to enable the rest of his team, and also has to like make up for the fact that this Caitlyn is down 2,000 gold as well.
And this is the point in a game where, in pro play, normally the person who is ahead is calling the plan because you have much better sense of the game and the direction that you want to play in because you're the one with the lead. So Oscar needs to start controlling the entire map. He needs to start telling his team what he needs, where he wants to be, what he wants to do. Looks like he's saying, let's abandon top for now, try to pressure through mid and try to get his Caitlyn back in the game. He will need to go back top eventually, but proactivity is the key.
It's going to be very difficult to figure out how to deal with Crownie. I mean, you can see BDS members on your screen now. Crownie, as I mentioned, Kraken Slayer completed, plus 15 CS. And I just want to take a brief moment just talk about his impact this spring. 83% kill participation, 4th highest damage per minute, 2nd highest damage share. So he really is the tip of the spear for BDS, and with the advantages built up on a champion like Jinx that can get excited, has the tools or the ability to run away with this game.
Yeah, that gold lead on bot lane is really scary. 1.7k. Mythic already completed to what Rekkles getting base here, a Noon Quiver. Maybe a pickaxe as well, something along those lines. So far behind, just a dagger. So yeah, it's all about, it's the Crownie show here. BDS just making sure Crownie can move freely between these two lanes. Oscar's actually sent Humanoid top and just said, you know what, I'll take over mid. Maybe I can help impact these fights on bot side.
They're hunting, they're hunting. Flame Chompers come down, and that's just a pretty easy combo. CC chain 4 days.
Oh
At
my
the
God,
end, rocket fire. Zap is sidestepped. Almost taken out himself, and this also means the mid tower's under threat. BDS, they find a pick, and they just punish extra hard.
It's so hard for Oscar to carry. The Jayce is so vulnerable. Let's look at how much engage BDS have and how much lockdown. They have hooks, they have knockups, they have knockbacks, they have chompers. Fnatic just have, what, a Lux Binding to play off, and if one can land, then they can play for traps, they can play for roots, but they don't really have that many tools. They're all so easy to kill. They're playing 4 range champions and a Lee Sin.
Yeah, my understanding of like how Fnatic really wanted to play this comp, they wanted both Jayce and Caitlyn to be ahead. Because if you can maintain that range advantage, keep BDS on the defensive, keep their Blitzcrank not only in vision, but ideally like limited to certain areas of the map, you're not going to be surprised by those rocket grabs. Unfortunately, the bottom lane fell so badly away from Fnatic that BDS are just running amok. They're invading, they've practically camped in that red buff of Fnatic the whole time, and that's why they've got the kill lead, the dragon lead, the gold lead.
Yeah, so we'll see what they can cook up. I wonder if Oscar could have gone for something like Gore Drinker. It wouldn't change the game too much, but it would make it so his life against these melee champs is a bit easier. But Oscar is just about to take over to level 9, and Adam's already there. So despite having this gold lead, and in terms of experience, Adam is pretty happy. His champ can work pretty well with low econ. You know, he's a Wukong. He's just going to go in and knock them up, and then hopefully Crownie can do the rest. Whereas Oscar needs a lot of gold, and he has it. So Fnatic are setting up around it, trying to pressure this bot tower, trying to pressure this Drake in a minute's time. They're 5-manning bots right here, and Nuke has TP.
BDS are aware of this one, got the numbers advantage. Adam's actually going to pull the trigger first. Cyclone and Labrov stepping forward, looking for the power fist, lands a rocket grab backwards, and Oscar's taken down. The second of the game. Nuke continues to apply pressure in the top. He has TP if needed. Fnatic, they committed a lot of resources and ultimately get punished.
This is really awkward for Fnatic. Humanoid has the TP top to defend it, and they can't pressure this bot plate, this bot tower. So you can see how simple it is for BDS. One knock up onto the Jayce, you can just follow up so easily and get the kill. Fnatic just a little bit too slow to respond.
Turret plating will fall.
It just means that BDS extend that gold lead. You know, coming into the game, if I were to be honest, this is what I would have anticipated the game to look like. BDS to leverage an advantage, to particularly have Crownie and Labrov pick up some sort of advantages, as they have done. I didn't expect it to be a Jinx blitz into a Caitlyn Lux.
I just fell apart from level 1. You could see Razork's pathing was for bots, but then he just changed the whole game plan when that happened, and rightly so. But there's only so much you can do as Lee Sin Jayce up against Wukong Vi. And now with Dragon spawning, BDS should be able to pick that one up pretty easily. But the enemy carries are Azir Jinx. It's not like it's going to get any better for Fnatic.
No, it's going to be very difficult. For BDS, though, we need to keep looking at that vision. They have done a pretty good job, I think, when they extended in the bottom lane, when they applied pressure in the mid lane, of at least pushing that ward line deep into Fnatic territory. But here, while they're committing resources to the top, maybe setting up for Herald as well as top tower, Fnatic will sneak away a dragon. So this is actually very crucial. This will buy them crucial time in the next 10 to 15 minutes to at least slow down or mitigate one of those powerful win conditions.
I thought BDS would get it for free, but it looks like, they're just indexing top. Gonna take away this Herald. Maybe they think taking down this mid tower is a bit of a pain, and they needed to take down the mid tower to unlock the map. And I think they should be able to pick up top tower pretty easily.
Rocket grab! Forces out the flash.
Forces out the flash indeed, but now Advienne wants some.
Live binding will connect. Flame Chopper slows down a little, but it's Humanoid that picks up the kill. Fnatic were able to combo that CC that you just talked about, Caedrel. Not only that, they've defended the tower. They've now got some push in the mid lane. Oscarinin is going to take a turn on the bottom lane. So yes, it's a 1,000 gold difference, but Fnatic have still got some bite. They've still got some fight in them here.
Nice play by Advienne. You saw that Labrov used a flash, just got him with the Q, almost out of range. And then once one binding connects, you can follow up with the Ryze binding, you can follow up with traps. Rekkles wasn't in range for that one, but you can see the idea behind it. Manages to work, that's one kill. Needs to get a couple more, but a bit more of that for Fnatic and they'll be happy.
I mean, if you take a look at the goal differences between the respective teams, I think specifically I'm going to draw your attention to Rekkles and Crownie. Crownie's sitting on 300 gold, but he's got the Crack and the Zeal, the longswords. 700 in the back pocket on Rekkles and still no Mythic. So going to be a little while before he has that same fighting power. But they've just been cheeky. They found themselves an opportunity here,
Another one,
comboing all of that long range to find themselves another kill. Not quite the traditional Fnatic push we used to, but it worked out.
Yeah, we're going to see that one again because it was just so good by the jungle support of Fnatic. Manages to, I mean, you can see they're grouped up. The second one binding lands. You've got the Jayce QE, you've got the Caitlyn ult, and down goes the monkey. Good picks by Fnatic. The Lux can function as a pick champion, and they're using it pretty well. Playing over vision, jungle support, grouping up together, and you can see the consequences of that is the vision they can place on towards this top side. All of the top side is just warded for Fnatic, and vice versa. BDS will start putting wards of their own down towards the bot side.
And the observers just highlighted it. We saw how limited vision BDS had, but look at Fnatic littering that top quadrant with wards. Labrov is going to get himself over the wall, lands the rocket grab onto Advienne, who is taken down. The rest of Fnatic chasing forward. Rune Prison comes out. Emperor's Divide buys just enough time for Crownie to take the tower, to get excited and step into the fray. Accelerated Shock Blast, chunking down Nuke, chunking down Crownie. But the tower goes the way of BDS, the third of the game, and they still maintain that 1,500 gold lead.
It's just a game of picks, isn't it?
Yep.
Everyone just finding one single target to get a kill off, but nothing really translated in terms of objectives. They're getting vision, yes, and they're pushing out lanes, but no Dragon for 2 minutes 30, no Baron for 3 minutes. They can't really turn it into any major leads, these picks from both sides. Razork just covering his top laner to push out bots here.
Okay, so how much do Fnatic fans need to clinch when we look at the next objective setups, right? Because BDS have got a small advantage on the Rift. There's great vision around this top half for Fnatic, but with 2 minutes till Dragon, stepping into the Flame Chomper, stepping into the Blitzcrank is very scary. Right now it's Sheo that's going to be jumped on. Once again, Fnatic looking to find themselves yet another pick. And I think they might just about do it. Sheo manages to stay alive, sidesteps the shot up with the engage. From Nuke comes forward, he's got no Emperor's Divide. Advienne not going to find the connection on that life binding, and Labrov got flash. Will blast going forward. Razork's down below 50. The rocket grab pulls Oscar back, and it's Crownie that gets excited. He's running away, he's forward. Labrov is looking for it, trying to. Rocket grabs in cooldown just a second. Crownie flashes, zaps, not gonna find his targets.
Just about survives. Razork with the blue jungle smite gets the move speed in the bushes so he can escape. I think that could have gone a lot worse there for Fnatic, but a big misplay from Razork and Oscar. I think they both missed their cues when the kick flash came in. Could have been a big shutdown over to Fnatic, so that backfires. Now Humanoid might be the one in trouble.
Well, Sheo's going to start the fight. Backups coming from Adam. Teleports coming from Nuke as well. But the damage from Humanoid is a lot. Rune Prison into Spell Flux. Cease and desist. Emperor's Divide backwards. Nuke committed the TP for that. They get the kill, but nothing else is available to them. Still a minute to the Dragon. It is still BDS in control, but they pulled that gold lead.
We've not really had a team fight yet, have we? It's just answering and responding to their own plays, looking for picks constantly, and BDS the ones coming out ahead. I'd love to see the replay on that kill onto Sheo, because he had no flash and he queued the Gromp, so Razork, rightly so, went for the kick flash, but I think the angle was just a little bit off, and Oscar maybe wasn't expecting it. Then he landed his Q onto the Gromp, which is just so unlucky. So we'll see it here. Q's the Gromp, no flash. So Razork, yeah, sees him on vision, just go for the full play, just gets the kick flash. But then here, QE from Jayce misses, Q from Lee Sin misses, and now they've got no damage left. So Sheo's just awkwardly standing there on 1 HP, gets the Gromp, so he gets a little bit of healing, pops the passive, dodges the Q, and then Oscar misses. Here I thought Nuke would flash ult and get both of them.
He was on cooldown.
Was on cooldown actually, right, yeah. Nice point out there. So he actually couldn't commit that. Labrov's the one who can save the day. And then Crownie actually lost his flash, which stings. Didn't get the kill onto Razork, but the jungle pet movement speed in the bush is really paying off here.
Really helping out. That means that BDS get the kill advantage with 5 seconds until Dragon. It's Fnatic that are inside the
Hex Flash coming out.
Hex Flash coming out. Labrov gets over the wall, but will be taken down. Multiple members of Fnatic chasing. Nuke drops the Sunders down. Emperor's Divide pushes Humanoid Razork backwards, but here comes Adam, spinning to win. Knocks up Oscarinin, and Advienne is running for his life. Rekkles was stuck inside the jungle, unable to fight, unable to impact it. BDS get the Dragon too.
They're going so deep, aren't they? Razork and Humanoid, they get the kill onto Labrov. I thought they were going to back off afterwards, but then they're trying to threaten the dive onto Nuke under the tower, so he just pushes him back into his team. In comes the Jinx, gets one reset, and that's it. There's no chance for Fnatic to fight. They don't have any frontline. So the second the Jinx gets one kill, is that going to be Baron as well? For BDS, 5 seconds on Razork. Labrov's on the way. I think that might just be Nash as well.
They're starting this one off. Adam's already inside the pit. Okay, Advienne's got final spark. Rekkles has got that ace in the hole, but this is going to be
TP's
copium
coming
at its
in.
best.
TP's coming in. Is that a double TP as well? Looks like it's just Humanoid right now. There's the second.
Do Fnatic start the
Getting
fight?
burned through 3K. They have to fight. If they lose this and they get out, it's over.
Baron is now secured. BDS trying to escape. That's all of a sudden the rocket grab lands onto Humanoid, taken down. They've got Baron. They've got themselves a kill already. They've got their second kill to boot. Oscar and Humanoid are taken out. And BDS are continuing the chase. They get Baron. They get two teleports as well. And they turn their attention back into pushing.
And they don't have to base. They can just keep going here, BDS. They don't have to recall. There's death timers on Fnatic. Solo lanes are down. Keep pushing. Take this top tier 2. Mid tower is extremely low, so that'll be an easy pickup. It's just a mess, isn't it?
It really is, and I have to say it. Caitlyn first pick, followed up by Lux in phase 2 of the draft for Fnatic. It did not generate the advantages, and Labrov's Blitzcrank, 0, 2, and 9.
Oh, I stopped him.
Crownie's Jinx has been fantastic, and Razork will escape with his life for now, but it's been all BDS for the last 20 minutes.
Really has, so massive props to them. Making plays of their own, punishing every single thing that Fnatic's doing. And now there's really not much left for Fnatic to do. They lose team fights, they get outscaled, they're so far behind as well. So let's look at this again. Good pick, no flash on Labrov. It's a good call. Just take out the Blitzcrank. Even if he gets the Hex Flash over, just flash over and get the kill quickly. But here I thought they'd back away, but maybe Humanoid saying, if I run left here, I'm walking into a Wukong. So let's go right and try to kill the Azir, but you're just gonna get pushed into him anyway. Jinx gets one reset, no front line, melts through absolutely everyone, no CC either. So there's nothing that Crownie has to really be afraid of. And then they start a Baron. Fnatic have to fight. They just kind of walk in. Humanoid gets hooked and dies. And now we're in a position where you're down 6,000-7,000 gold and you have no real wave clear, barring the Caitlyn traps perhaps. You've got a little bit of poke, but I think BDS are going to start pressing the advantage.
Yeah, and I don't know, it's not a crucial thing because it would have made a huge difference. Rekkles was late to that. He wasn't close enough to the team, wasn't able to impact. By time he was almost in range to auto, the fight had been lost and Fnatic had turned. BDS, they'll apply pressure in the mid lane, immediately translates that into the bottom lane, pick up their 6th tower of the game. And look at Labrov.
Labrov just flashed, did he?
Flash and threw out the rocket grab, didn't manage to find a target, but will continue doing that, continue looking for a target to hit. And just look at the item difference. Crownie has got IE Kraken Slayer as well as Phantom Dancer into a Gale Force and some thrift shopping from Rekkles. It is just not a fair fight.
It really isn't. Adam is a bit behind, yes, but doesn't matter. He's just there to disrupt, there to be a frontliner. Massive game from Sheo and the bot lane of BDS, Crownie and Labrov, who just have an impressive split. Yeah.
For the rocket grab, Caedrel.
Constant threat. Fnatic can never really walk up. If he misses, then Fnatic can walk up, so Labrov's just holding it, unless he finds it perfect angle.
Looking for it, he finds it! That's a flash away from Razork. He stays alive for now. Super Mega Death Rocket goes wide with 16 seconds on the Baron-empowered minions. They have at least opened up that base in the bottom lane. And gold lead is 9,000 up. And BDS were expected to be the favorite coming into this game based on all the recent performances in 2023. And I think they have even outperformed. Fnatic's comp needed to win lane. That's how it wanted to win the game, and unfortunately they didn't anywhere but top.
Fnatic's comp is really, really, really risky. You're relying so heavily on like individual skill, lane dominance, consistency and not throwing away leads and taking small wins and not being greedy. And they kind of blundered that within the first minute on bot side. And Oscar can't really do much when champions like the Jinx, the Blitzcrank are just unleashed, running around the map and this far ahead. So, bit of a struggle. 1 minute on this Dragon. Not going to be sold for BDS, but Fnatic need to look for picks. They just, I mean, they're so far behind. They just need to kind of rise all 3 people on one lane, try and kill the Wukong perhaps, or the Azir, and then try and take the fight from there, because BDS will collapse, but if they can turn it into a 4v5, then maybe there's a small chance, but that you're really grasping at straws there. Rekkles needs Infinity Edge.
They need a miracle, Caedrel, is I think where my head's at the moment. Because even if they do find those picks, when you just look at the disparity in items between absolutely everybody except top lane, BDS have got that safety net, the cushion. They can just hit them with their wallets. I mean, Sheo is being chunked out just a little. There's just not enough crowd control to lock anyone down. There's not enough damage yet to really burst anybody out. And the amount of time it'll take will allow either Azir, Wukong, Jinx to just run amok. So for BDS, they can play this how they want. They've got supers in the bottom lane, 5 seconds for Dragon, so they can look to secure that one. a minute and a half for Baron. So if they play this one safe, maybe look for the next Baron before they usher it in, as they can find themselves a pick. It depends how hyphy BDS might be feeling.
How hyphy indeed. Well, Ryze is always a fun champ to play when you're ahead or behind, because you can just get really creative with the Realm Warp. You know, you can just like 5-man ult to Nash and just rush it down randomly. Look for picks on sides. We'll see how creative Fnatic can get. The poke champ there from Oscar really helping out in terms of chunking out BDS, but I think that they're just so far ahead that it doesn't really matter. But there's Rekkles' Infinity Edge. This is kind of it. Now I think Rekkles is just saying, let's just try and take a fight. I mean, he's an item and a half down, so if Crownie's free hitting, it's as good as over. But they have got good single target CC. 50 seconds on Baron, so the game will slow down a little bit until BDS get that objective. They're going to set up and they're going to start it up. And then Fnatic are going to have to face check into a Vi, Blitzcrank, Wukong with no front line. That line of traps, yeah, I think if Fnatic crosses it,
yeah,
they're dead.
Yeah, I think
they're
so
crossing
too.
it, Trevor.
They're in front of it. They're in front of it. Realm Warp is about to
Okay, back behind the line. Stay behind the line.
Labrov, Rocket Grab, I think, was on cooldown there. Also, stopwatches available for Nuke and for Adam. I can't see any on the side of Fnatic. That can be pivotal, because if one of those members is caught by the light binding, if one of those members is the target of the Dragon's Rage kick, all of a sudden that burst, that opportunity to be in a 5 versus 4 is practically mitigated, practically undone. So when you keep an eye on those abilities as Labrov, Hex flashing forward once more. It's going to be that Baron. That's not a surprise to me. I think for the side of BDS, they want that win, get themselves one step closer to, looking to the group stage.
Yeah, quick start up, here we go. And I don't think Fnatic can respond whatsoever. If they try, props to them, but I just think you're face checking into your own demise. Razork's walking up, Blue Orb comes out. Yeah, can't walk in. Baron's gone. They're going to try and have to stop the siege. 3 minutes until Infernal Soul. BDS could just play it safe and wait for the next dragon to spawn, but I think they'll start pressuring their advantage. Bot inhib should respawn soon. They need to crack the base through topside, I think.
I mean, ideally, if they can try time it a little bit, but you see the bottom lane there, Oscarinin and Razork, they're making their way down to deal with those super minions. It's a 2-level advantage for Adam over Oscar because of the amount of time in the jungle. Sheo 2 up as well, 2 levels for Crownie, 2 levels for Labrov, so...
How much gold is Crownie sitting on?
A ton. Let me toggle this for you.
I haven't seen him base in a while.
I will get to that in just a second, because it does look like a potential fight is on the cards.
It does, if they can hit a hook.
All of a sudden looking for it. Rocket grab is available.
Oh,
Razork looking for an instant flash from Crownie. He respected it. Razork is going to use that stopwatch for time, but Crownie is dominating. He gets excited. There's at least 1 kill back from Fnatic, but at the cost of everything. Nuke uses that stopwatch himself, and that's another kill. 2 for Rekkles. 2 for 2. They managed to win that fight, much to my surprise, but Adam is going to continue to apply pressure here in that middle lane.
Oh, I thought Labrov was going to go for a hook onto the Ryze there. That's huge for Fnatic. They managed to take down 2 for 2. They've taken out the mid jungle. That stops the siege with the Baron. 2.6k gold in Crownie's inventory. But yeah, nice kick from Razork. So let's look at Crownie's reaction time, because that's where he's looking. Razork's going to Q, ward jump, kick flash. Gets the ward jump, goes to the kick flash, but then boom, his target's gone. Luckily, Sheo Q's right behind him, so he can kick him instead. And then the single target damage layer up. Binding, the Ryze root, everything lands, the traps. Sheo can't really move. Turns into a 1-for-1. Nuke goes really deep here. Humanoid flashes the ultimate. Advienne doesn't, but then you're trading Azir for Lux. Trap line on the Zhonya's. Down he goes. 2 kills for Rekkles. Shutdowns over to him. Now let's see the 80 carry gold disparity. It's a 4k now. It was 5k before. Flash hook. Oh, nice sidestep by Oscar. Nice display of mechanics there.
I tell you what, I give an apology to Fnatic. I really anticipated that fight to go differently, but Humanoid and Rekkles put up way more damage than I was expecting. Able to punish that deep dive from Nuke, the stopwatches not having the impact or the influence they wanted. Bear in mind that Crownie with that 2,600 gold, he's backed and picked up that Bloodthirster. He now has a stopwatch, but no sums.
Round 2. Can they replicate what they just did here, Fnatic? You can see the damage coming out from Nuke. Rocket's just going to miss Oscar, but the Baron buffs 40 seconds left. They have about a wave and maybe 2 waves to play on, depending on what lanes they go towards, but it looks like they're dropping top and moving towards bot side. Drake's up in 1 minute. Razork not having that flash makes it so hard to get this kick. Crownie has a stopwatch.
Oh, okay. I tell you what, Fnatic are holding on, and they are at least fending off the last 2 sort of skirmishes. That bottom lane push didn't net a significant a deficit or even more for Fnatic. The top lane, they managed to hold on to the inhib. They've also fended off this Baron siege for now. I don't think they'll be able to stop this dragon. They are looking to potentially contest it, because Infernal Soul will be very, very scary. That's up in 30. And in terms of the vision, still stepping forward into a little bit of darkness once they get past that water.
They have to try. Fnatic have to try. They can't give this dragon over. They won't be able to hold on the entire game against an Infernal sold up Jinx with 6 items. So, Labrov trying to look for hooks. Trap line slowly being placed down. Midwave being pushed in for BDS. They can just engage onto Rekkles here if they want to. The charge up of the Q. It's not going to go for it. Adam's off to the side. They're going to let Fnatic walk into them, and they're walking into a Blitzcrank. So it's on Labrov to find the hook. Can they dodge it? Who's going to be the first one to tank it?
There's no flash for Crownie, there's no flash for Nuke, no flash for Humanoid. The dragon has been started. BDS are in the pit. This is for the Infernal Soul. Follow Fnatic. Rekkles, level 15. Got both of his sums up. Crownie using that BT shield, trying to tank it up. Inside the pit, here comes Adam. Rocket grab. That manages to catch out Razork. He's taken down. Crownie gets excited. The life binding buys some time. A Humanoid is firing off spells from the side. Uses that Aeon Flux to pick up one back. Dragon was secured by BDS. Infernal Soul is secured. And is it over yet? Sneaky, sneaky play here, Caedrel.
Can they find the angle? Sheo still has the ultimate. If he queues over here, his target is right in front of him.
The Vault Breaker over the wall. Cease and desist is available. Jumps onto Oscarinin. He's not going to be able to find the Super Mega Death Rocket, and Sheo unable to set up the kill, but with the 4 versus 4 for now, they're pouring into the middle lane.
Yeah, mid and bot wave just massively stacked up. Humanoid's having to use a Realm Warp to get back to base with the support, see if he can thin out this wave. He can't step up too far though, because Nuke still has to shuffle. And he doesn't have flash up just yet, so mid hit will fall. Will bot hit fall. Respawn on Razork coming in, it's a 4v5. BDS will respect it and back away. They got the soul, but you can see the damage Fnatic's comp can do if they can keep them at arm's length. Humanoid has to play so aggressive to keep BDS back.
Well, I'll tell you what, being 10,000 gold down and still somewhat competitive in these fights, give some credit here to Fnatic. It is a difficult composition to execute and to pull off, and I think Humanoid again doing so much work for his team.
Definitely does. So he gets pulled into the chomper as Razork is dead. Nice double binding onto Adam and Sheo, forces the Adam stopwatch, but let's watch Humanoid here. Hooks on cooldown, he can walk up and just do so much damage to buy space for his team, so they cannot get engaged on by Crownie. And then Sheo goes across the side. Bit of a greedy recall coming out here from Fnatic, but they want to get back to base quickly because they need to catch bot wave and top wave, push out these sides. But wards there, Sheo sees them, engage comes through, Oscar matches Sheo by escaping, double trap to save him, and they invested a TP and a flash there. Could have gone more in BDS's favor, but he actually hesitated a little bit, Sheo, with the Q.
Yeah, I'm also really thankful the observers showed us that. I missed the flash myself the first time I was watching it. Sheo right now 5-1-8. Crownie, by the way, 8-0-3. Having a phenomenal game, and here comes Labrov. Hex flashes over the wall. I'm just waiting for that rocket grab. Super minions making their way through the middle lane. It's 15 seconds
Adam's on the side
before the next Baron flash away from Advienne. Oscarinin trying to use the shock plus. We're waiting for the CC. Caedrel is not landing just yet.
BDS really want to go in. They have to invest a kick there to stop Sheo.
Fight.
It is going to be a Baron fight, but I think Fnatic might just have to give it up. I don't know if they can face check into this. They have flashes on their carries, but I think they ideally want to stall for this Elder Dragon in 3 minutes. But can they end on this Baron? I think BDS might be able to. So Fnatic are going to go for the fight. Labrov's invested the flash already. Hasn't found anything. Razork. Razork.
Low. It's low.
Can he steal it?
Where's the extract? Where's Adam? Adam can look for the flank. Baron's been stopped.
It's a flip.
It's a flip. It's picked up. BDS get the Baron. Humanoid will at least run down Adam, but he's got caught by the Cyclone. The rest of Fnatic are forced away.
Oh, no.
They're running to the middle lane. Losing Humanoid is huge. Losing Razork is worse. And it's now Baron empowered minions. 3 versus 5. They need another miracle hold.
30 seconds they have to hold on for Razork. Waves coming in. Cannon wave and BDS. I think they can just end the game here. We'll see if they can make a last stand here, Fnatic, but I don't think they can. Nuke's going to TP back in, and he does with the Rabadons.
Oh, imagine if it wasn't 11,000 gold down. Imagine if that early game laning phase didn't go the way that it did. Fnatic put up a staunch defense in the last 10 minutes, but ultimately have been bullied and beaten, and BDS have been in control. The Nexus turrets are falling. It took 3 Barons. It took an Infernal Soul. And BDS will look to take down Fnatic. Rocket
the respawn
for just 1 more frag. BDS pick up their 3rd win of spring.
Great game from BDS. They were very patient. A couple of fights there didn't go the way they might have wanted to on the top siege specifically. But yeah, another win for them since 3 wins already, 4 games. They should be pushing themselves into that top 8, keeping their form from last split. But Fnatic, everything just fell apart again. Unlucky death on the top side with the recall for Oscar, level 1 dying on bot side. Things like this just, when you're playing a comp like that, just really chip away at your win conditions.
Yeah, and I mean, for BDS, they've taken down Mad Lions, they've taken down Heretics, the 2 teams around them. They're now taking down Fnatic. The only team they lost to was SK. We're playing in our next game, SK versus Vitality, both teams undefeated. It's making this top of the table, those top 4 seeds, the pool 1 and pool 2, way more interesting.
It is.
Obviously, if you have just joined us, members of Fnatic were feeling unwell, so they did play from their facilities along with BDS. We hope they have a speedy recovery. That's why you can see our lovely League officials here clearing the teddy bears off the stage. But for BDS, another good win. BDS, one of the surprise hits here, 2023.
Yeah, definitely. Astralis, BDS, SK, all of them have turned it around this year. Very stark contrast to last year where they were basically guaranteed bottom 3. So it's Fnatic struggling, it's XL struggling. Heretics have found a win. See if they can get back into it.
Let me quickly read you the player of the game nominees at LEC on Twitter: Sheo, Crownie, and Labrov. I do believe we're going to be heading to an interview in just a moment or two. It'll be after the break. Thank you very much, Deppa. And we're all ready for that one. So, Caedrel, thank you so much. This was fun. We don't get to cast very often.
No, we don't.
Let's go hit the 9 right now and do the golf.
Oh, yeah, it's time for golf.
Yeah, we'll see. There's an interview after the break. We're going to do
Is it still sunny outside?
A golf
what time
thing.
is it?
I don't know what golf is. But go, leave. No.
He's walking past the wave. Are they dead? No way they're dead. There's no way they're dead. Oh my god, you can't.
First blood to Crownie, are you kidding?
This is like...
They're hunting. Flame Choppers come down, and that's just a pretty easy combo. They found themselves an opportunity here, comboing all of that long range to find themselves another kill. Not quite the traditional Fnatic push we used to until Dragon is Fnatic, but inside the picture first. Hexflash coming out, Labrov gets over the wall, but will be taken down. Multiple members of Fnatic chasing. Nuke drops the Sundust down. Emperor's Divide pushes Humanoid Razork back over. Here comes Adam, spinning to win. Knocks up Oscarinin, and Advienne is running for his life. Rekkles was stuck inside. You're gonna make it! You're gonna make it, dude! Come on! Work with me here! Work with me! We're nearly there! We're nearly there! Come on, let's go!
Oh, Trev. Help.
Mark, you've done too much, dude. What can I get you?
Give me that.
Even the biggest champ needs a break.
Are you guys being weird again?